Hey MS gang, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, my name's Liam and in 2018 I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS. If you want to be part of the gang, it's dead straightforward, just smash that subscribe button. I should say, hey MS gang, also hey ADHD gang. In this video I'm going to be talking about MS and ADHD and how that combination can just be life-changing and so difficult. For me, my MS journey started in 2018 and I have seen symptoms of MS that have caused me no end of issues and problems, from fatigue, cognitive issues, spasticity, a lot of pain that I'm in, and generally just not feeling like my body's my own. I wake up most mornings feeling like I've been hit by a bus. It's not nice. And I've talked about a lot of these symptoms and experiences in many other videos. But this is something that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit more, which was how something like ADHD can kind of feed MS, and the two can battle each other, and you can end up in a downward spiral. Some of you may not be familiar with ADHD, or you may have seen some of the things on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff of this sort of quirky, ooh, do you have ADHD? Here's the top 5 signs you have ADHD. Are you forgetful? Do you do all these funny little things? And it's just, it's not like that. For a lot of people, I have what's called ADHD, ADD combined type, or there's another word for it, I'm sure. I have a joint presentation of both. The hyperactivity in me, as you can see, I'm always fidgeting and pretty restless, but the hyperactivity presents itself a lot for me in my head. My mind is always racing. I know people have like an inner monologue, not everyone does, but mine is just like all the time, and it's really overwhelming. Some of the things that I suffer with ADHD is overwhelm. If things like, particularly like stress, which we know is a massive trigger for multiple sclerosis, stress also triggers my ADHD symptoms, so it can make me completely overwhelmed in certain situations, and can make me find things incredibly difficult. If I have too much on and I know I've got a big to-do list to get through, I get something called task paralysis, which makes it, even though my mind and my will is to complete the task, it's like my body just is crippled in a vice and I just cannot do the task. There can be a huge element of forgetfulness, just having too much on and not remembering the things that you need to do, whether it's things around the house. I get sidetracked or often do side quests, so I might go and make a cup of tea because I need a cafe, I need to pick me up, but I go to make a cup of tea and I find out that there's no clean mug, so I need to go and get one from the dishwasher, but the dishwasher's not been put on, so I need to empty the dishwasher and load it, but then I realise that actually there's some things that won't go in the dishwasher, so I need to wash those up, but then I find that there's some other things I need to do, and there's a pot that I need to wash before that I haven't done, and all these things, and before I know it, I'm 7 tasks away, and hours later, I've not had a cup of tea, I've forgotten to have anything to eat, and I've needed the toilet for about an hour and a half, which also then feeds into, the incontinence and bowel issues that you can have with multiple sclerosis. If I'm not going to the toilet enough, at the moment with my MS, I find that my bladder doesn't empty properly, so I've always got this bit of stagnant wee in my bladder, which isn't great. So if I'm not going to the toilet regularly enough, then that can cause problems as well. Just done it then while I was trying to remember, but also things that I just get spaced out, and I'll find that, I'll get really distracted. So I'll be thinking of all the things I need to do, but then I'll see something perhaps on my phone, or I'll think about something, my mind's obviously racing, and I'll end up just, doom scrolling or thinking about that thing or just staring off into space. Which, when you don't have a lot of energy with multiple sclerosis, and you need to be really careful with the energy that you do have, sitting there and doing nothing and thinking, I need to do this, that can be really tiring. That overwhelm can make it, even if you've just got ADHD, can be really exhausting. So I've got this overwhelm, exhaustion from ADHD, and this fatigue from multiple sclerosis that kind of battle each other. And I found that we know exercise is so important with multiple sclerosis, but it's also really important for ADHD, because these, with the hyperactivity in my head and all these things I'm thinking about, often exercise can help you to try and sort of get rid of that. But because I'm so fatigued, I'm not exercising. Because I'm not exercising, my ADHD symptoms are worse. Because my ADHD symptoms are worse, it's making my life very difficult, which makes me very stressed and overwhelmed, which makes me tired, which then leads to me not eating properly, which means I'm not getting the nutrition I need to help with my multiple sclerosis, which means I'm even more tired, I'm even more stressed. And that stress then feeds into the multiple sclerosis symptoms and then causes more ADHD symptoms. And it just loops and loops and loops, to the point where now I'm looking, I've been running this business for a while, I've had this office space, but I've not been able to to do the things I want to do because of this combination of MS and ADHD, to the point where I've not been earning what I need to earn, and I'm going to have to now move away from this office, and I'm going back to the home setup that you might have seen in previous videos, which to me is really disappointing, because I felt like initially I'd worked really hard to get to this point, and it's my own body and mind and brain and the things that I find very difficult that have meant that I'm just not able to do it. And that makes me really sad and depressed, which obviously with my MS as well, depression, anxiety and ADHD have those symptoms. I find that there's lots of symptoms that are doubled up, which makes everything so very, very difficult. Now, ADHD affects a large proportion of people. A lot of people are actually undiagnosed ADHD, or they have like a milder form. There's sort of 7 variations, much like MS, where we've got we've got relapse and remitting, we've got progressive, secondary progressive, relapsing progressive. There's all these different sort of combinations. It's the same with ADHD, from ADHD, ADD, and ADHD, ADD joint presentation, and then there's sort of other subcategories. And these different combinations, or certainly the ones that I've got, have made things incredibly difficult. So part of me, I'm sorry to you guys that I've not been able to do as many things that I've wanted to do and share as many things. It means that things like the MS Mindset, the podcast I'm hoping to continue, but it means that the website and the courses that I'm making are probably going to take me a lot longer. I'm sorry that I've not perhaps been able to deliver on the things I wanted to deliver, but at least I'm happy that I'm doing something to move forward, and it's not going to stop me doing these things. I refuse to let MS and ADHD control my life and stop me achieving things I want to achieve. It's just, as always, getting the right mindset and recognizing the things that I do struggle with, so that I can perhaps do the things that I need to do in a more controlled and structured way. Structure is really important for ADHD, and I think it's also really important for multiple sclerosis, because having a routine means that when you do have those days where you wake up feeling like you can't do anything, the paralysis of ADHD is keeping you in bed thinking I can't do anything. Your fatigue and your cognitive issues with multiple sclerosis are making that even more difficult. It's hard, but when I know I have to get up because I need to get up and give the kids the breakfast, I know I need to perhaps be in work at a certain time for an employer, I think it's going to make things much, much better. So I am trying to see a lot of the positives, and I am going to use the time now to hopefully do some more exercise and try and help myself make some smarter decisions, because I have made poor decisions, whether it's work or financial decisions, and things like that. And I know that now, with some help that I'm asking for, and some more transparency in how I am struggling, then hopefully that will become less and less of an issue. So I love my community that I've built here. I love you guys so much. Your comments, whilst I struggle sometimes to reply to them for the aforementioned reasons, I know that the future looks a lot stronger, and I'm going to be able to now throw myself into a new project, a new opportunity that's going to give me that routine that I need, that allows me to give some focus and attention to my health, but also be able to earn an income and reduce the stress that my life has caused. Because it's really, really tough. I'd be really interested to see how many of you, because I know it affects so many people, undoubtedly there's so many of us MSers that also have ADHD. We are not neurotypical, we are far from it, neurospicy or neurodivergent. I would love to know what your experience has been, and if you have any tips for myself and for anybody out there that might be struggling, because when we come together, when we support each other, we can do so much more, and we can improve our lives, we can live a good life, and we can improve our mindset so that it's really positive. So yeah, let me know in the comments any tips and advice or any experiences that you've had. If you do have ADHD or multiple sclerosis, then make sure you subscribe, because our community is growing, and there's a lot of love amongst us all and support for each other. You are not alone. We can help each other, and we can get through this. So thanks for watching this video. If you found it useful, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. That's what it's there for. And I will see you in the next video.